Good evening and welcome to the Mount Spigot, home of Hammond Stadium at Legion Field. Our football game this evening is between the Hampton Bulldogs and the Gatlinburg-Pittman Highlanders. At this time, please stand and men remove your hats for a moment of silence. Now please remain standing for the national anthem performed by the Gatlinburg-Pittman Marching Band, directed by Mr. Greg Fitch.
Hello, football fans. Marty Nicely here at Hammond Stadium along with Rob Younger, Kevin Tierney, and Tana Trenum. Exciting night, opening night of high school football. First game here at Hammond Stadium. Rob, it's great that it's finally here.
Marty, it is, and everybody waits around on that football season, then all of a sudden it's here, gets here really quick. Coming into this 2019 football season, Marty, a lot of reason for optimism on the Gatlinburg-Pittman sideline.
Gatlinburg-Pittman coming off we think was an impressive performance in the Jamboree last week. Rob, what are a couple things that stood out to you after seeing the varsity play that one quarter against Seymour?
Well, Marty, I thought we made a great impression during the Jamboree. Came out of there with a lot of great momentum, but the big thing is the offense clicked. Every quarterback threw the ball well. The offensive line performed as everybody had expected them to. But the big thing to me, some of the younger players, especially like junior JV quarterback Houston Bird and some of those kids that we're going to have to count on if somebody gets hurt, did a really good job in the Jamboree. But overall, just a great performance. A lot of good momentum coming into the season from it.
Early on in the season, I think it'd be fair to say that one of the strengths, or a couple of the strengths of this GP team, will be the skill people, running backs, wide receivers, and both defensive and offensive lines, Rob.
Well, Marty, you're talking about strengths of the team, and you mentioned every group on the field. So we do have a lot of explosive skill players, a great receiving core. We've got a really good running back returning in Bryce Akey, almost had 1,000 yards last year. But I think the thing that everybody's talking about is that big offensive line that we've got coming back. They average about 280-something pounds. Got 3 returning starters. Got us replacing our center and left tackle. We've got a tight end that comes in sometimes, but just got an impressive group on offense. And of course, our quarterback coming back for his 3rd year as a starter, and he's already had a great career.
If you were going to pick a weakness, you might say at the start of the season, depth, but you hope to develop your depth as the season goes along. Rob, GP's played the last 4 games against Hampton have been split. Hampton won 2 in a row, then GP's won the last 2.
Well, Marty, they're just, as you would say, they're just a bunch of good country ball players, and I've watched them on film this week, watched them on Huddle against Cloudland and Tennessee High. They've got a really pretty big physical defensive line, gets a lot of penetration, gets to the ball really good, got a good linebacker. Offensively, they're just a power football team. They'll line up in an offset, kind of a power formation, even line up in a power I, a lot of ISO, some sweeps, but they just line up and come at you, but they're a pretty tough football team.
Coach Ryan said the same thing in the paper today. Power team likes to run the ball, does have some play action passing. When GP's on defense, he said the key is to hold Hampton on first down, make them have second and long, get ahead of the chains.
Both films that I watched, they didn't throw the ball a lot, and they didn't throw it very well, but they've got a couple of offensive weapons. They've got a couple of big kids, number 32 on the roster. His name is Caleb Oakes, and they'll line him up sometimes at tailback, sometimes at a offset fullback or wingback, give him the ball, and he's also a really good player on defense. But it's not going to be a pushover like everybody might think that it is.
So, hang on. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We're ready for kickoff. Bryce Akey, one of the players deep for GP, and then it's a little pooch kick fielded by Reese Cole, who has good hands. And GP will have excellent field position to start the game on their own 42-yard line. Here's the replay.
Well, Marty Hampton immediately coming out trying to use a little trickery, an onside kick, but they kicked it to the wrong guy. They kicked it to a super talented tight end, Reese Cole, who did a great job handling the football and picking up a couple extra yards. Great field position.
1st and 10, just underway here at Hammond Stadium. First offensive possession for Gatlinburg-Pippin. Schultz. Shotgun, 3 wide outs to the far side. Schultz takes a snap. Quick pass in the flat to Akey, and Rob Hampton was ready for that.
Well, Marty, they're just well scouted right there. That's one of our big plays, and you see the slot receivers trying to run those guys off. They don't fall for it. As soon as they saw the play develop, they knew what it was. Good defensive play by Hampton.
Loss of 3, bring up 2nd and 13 for the Highlanders. Two wide outs both sides. Schultz, Akey in the backfield. Pass in the flat to Lopez. Makes first man miss. Gets into the secondary. Picks up about 10 or 11 yards. Will bring it 3rd and short. 3rd and 2 maybe.
Marty, good execution. Good job by the line getting the defensive lineman's hands down. Carlitos Lopez, who, Marty, I thought was a great defensive back for us last year. Great open field tackler, but he's really come around as a receiver.
And Rob Ethan Stinnett had a really good block on the outside that time.
2 great wide receivers in Stinnett and Lopez.
I had more yards, 3rd and 5. Schultz rolls out to his right. Looks downfield, turns it upfield, gets outside, needs a block, and has the first down. Rob, good patient run by J.D. Schultz.
Marty did a good job looking downfield, didn't find a wide receiver open, and as you said, he did a good job being patient, read his blocks. Marty, 3 plays, 3 pass plays. Great job blocking on the outside by that right tackle, Bo Rowland, and number 88, Reese Cole.
Well, Rob, you can tell by alignment. Coach Rang had said this year, if teams line up to stop the run, they'll throw the ball. If they set back, defend against the pass, they'll run the ball. Schultz, handoff. Akey off the left side. Gets about 5, bring up a 2nd and 5.
Marty, you can see that Hampton's got a pretty big defensive line. They've got 4 down linemen. They've got 3 linebackers stacked right in there behind those defensive linemen. They're a pretty good defensive front, pretty good front 7.
Bring up 2nd and 5. And there's a timeout asked for by Coach Rang. Saw something, I believe, in the alignment that he did not like, so he called timeout. Rob, the one receiver tonight, a Jaden, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. Schober.
They call him Wisconsin.
Okay.
They obviously transferred for him. Every time we have somebody that moves from more than 50 miles away, we call them by the place that they're from, Canada, Wisconsin, whatever. But he's supposed to be the fastest player on the team. And of course, you saw him lined up deep on kickoff return.
Rob couldn't ask for better playing conditions right now. A little concern earlier about the weather being a factor tonight. But right now, and it looks like, looking at the latest radar here, it looks like we're going to be all right at least through the first half.
Marty GP coming back out in that tight bunch formation to the wide side of the field.
2nd and 5. Handoff, Akey off the right side, makes a move, makes one tackle, breaks a tackle into the secondary, and he's finally tackled about the 25-yard line of Hampton, where it will be first down for the Highlanders.
Marty, nice play, came out in that tight bunch formation to the right side, good line splits, great job by that offensive line. Look at the hole opened up by Bo Rowlands and Kevin Burkett right there. And then after that, when he got to the second level, that's just Bryce Akey breaking tackles and being a good running back.
1st and 10. Schultz, Akey in the backfield. 2 wideouts this side. Fakes the short throw, is going deep, and we have a touchdown, Gatlinburg-Pittman. Rob, talk about perfect execution.
Marty couldn't have been any better. Great ball skills, great play fake by the quarterback. Offensive line just set up perfect. Ethan Stinnett ran a great route at the bottom of the string, number 11, but just watch the execution and the pass.
Watch the fake from there, just that little fake.
And Marty, Ethan Stinnett has had a great fall. Of course, he's a good basketball player for the Highlanders. He had a good sophomore season, but he's had a great fall. All of his scrimmages, he's caught a lot of passes, scored some touchdowns. And, of course, he is the son of Tony and Jamie Stinnett. Tony played at Sevier County High School, and his wife Jamie played basketball there. Both of them are school system employees, just good people. And, of course, now his uncle is the principal at Gatlinburg-Pittman, Mr. Gary Stinnett.
And Rob, Hampton was offsides. Coach Rank thought about it but declined the penalty, and they'll kick the extra point. They moved it, but I thought he declined the penalty. He did. They're bringing it back to the 3 now. Number 7, Bryson Flynn, Jr. Good kicker for the extra point. Is up. Good. And with 9:08 left to go in this first quarter, GP jumps out to a 7-0 lead.
And speaking of Bryson Flynn, I talked to Al Shirley a little bit, our kicking coach. And, of course, Bryson has potential to be really good. He's a good kicker. Al's is just afraid that all he's going to do is kick off and kick extra points because he thinks we're going to move the ball so much we're not going to be in a lot of field goal positions. Here's a replay of the touchdown. You see a stop and go by number 11, Ethan Stinnett. He faked the screen. Ethan just ran a great route, got wide open. Of course, Marty Buster Flynn's, both of his parents, Miss Flynn works at Pi Beta Phi's. Dad, Buster Flynn, works at Central Office in our computer division. And, of course, he had an uncle that was a good running back for us back in the early 90s, Chris, I can't think of his last name, Chris Husky, yep. Good football family here in Gatlinburg.
GP Flynn to kick off.
I'm already hearing some great music by our good buddy Greg Patterson, as you call Master P.
Master P. There's the kick. And that kick's going into the end zone, folks, to the back of the end zone.
And, Marty, how many high school kickers do you see kick the ball to the back of the end zone?
Here it is again on replay. I thought it was going to be about the mid part, but it was right at the back of the end zone.
And evidently Hampton did not have him scouted because they had their guys on about the 13-yard line, their deep guys. Marty, here's our first look at this defensive unit by the Highlanders. We do have some brand new players. We've got 3 new linebackers playing for their first time starting in their careers at Gatlinburg-Pittman.
Hampton, 4 wideouts to this side of the field. Quarterback. There's a screen pass, and Akey breaks up the play in the backfield. I believe we had that scouted, Rob. What a play by Akey.
And Marty, he just wasn't fooled for a second. He just read it and went right after the football.
Quarterback for Hampton, number 1, Isaiah Greenwell, a senior. There's the pitch. And could have tackled him in the backfield for a loss, but still tackled after a gain of only about 1. Will bring up a 3rd and 15.
Making it 3rd down for the Bulldogs.
And Marty, I think that's number 10, Carlitos Lopez, coming up and making from the strong safety position, making the tackle. That kid was all over the field last year as a defensive, as a safety.
3rd and 15. Campbell rolls out, looks downfield, and Lopez actually had a good break on that ball. Pass is incomplete, will bring up 4th down, and Hampton will punt.
Marty, good looking defensive front. Watch the pressure by number 52, Kevin Burkett, beats his guy. Good play on the ball by Lopez.
So deep for GP, Schober, and number 11, Ethan Stennett. They're camped out at about midfield. GP should get good field position. There's the block. Special teams into the end zone, recovered. Touchdown, Gatlinburg Pittman.
And Marty, I think that's number 10, Carlitos Lopez, whose name we're calling all night.
Here's the replay.
And number 19, Liam Brackens, recovered it in the end zone for a touchdown.
Rob?
Highlanders are off to a good start.
Pretty impressive start. Kick is up. Kick is good. And with 7:40 left to go, GP with another score on the board leads 14-0.
What a play, maybe.
Here's the replay again. Special teams.
Marty, so far, Gatlinburg Pittman, led by head coach Derek Rang, who's in his 3rd year at Gatlinburg Pittman, is looking good on all 3 phases of the game.
Coach Rang in the paper today talked about how important it was to get a quick start, and they've certainly done that.
Marty, what an atmosphere tonight. What a great crowd. Parking's kind of tough right now because of the Rocky Top soccer tournaments, but the loyal GP fans are out. Hampton brought a good crowd down from Upper East Tennessee. But, Marty, we'll talk about it later, but just a lot of people that have created an incredible place here for us, and a lot of people do a lot of hard work pulling off a game event like this. And, of course, great student section tonight. They came out. This is tonight's beach night. Great night for that.
So number 1, Greenwell, one of the players deep for Hampton. This time is going to be fielded at about the 3. And boom! Let's see what that flag is. Was there a block in the back?
Chambers on the return.
Face mask on GP.
Well, Marty, it looked like initially that Bryce Akey was first man down, touched him when he was on the ground, but maybe he was not down.
Block in the back. Here's the replay. Fielded on about the 3. And Rob, what I noticed there was GP was in their lanes. There was nowhere for anybody to go. I mean,
Well, I tell you what I noticed. You're right. They did do a good job staying in their lanes, converging on the football. The thing I noticed is Bryce Akey, a senior starting running back, hustling down their own kickoff team. Most guys, when they're senior starters, aren't real keen on playing on special teams, but that just shows what kind of person he is.
Oh, what a lick. Not sure who that was. It may have been number 53, 51, Ryan Weeks.
And Marty, see.
Or 53, Saban Moore, maybe. 2nd and 9. Look at here we go. Boom.
Wow. And Marty, Saban Moore is a kid who came in played on that position as a sophomore last year. He's a 2-way starter. He's probably has more upside than any player on the team, maybe him and Kevin Burkett. He's a physical specimen, about 6'4", 250.
Good play call that time. That'll be the first down for Hampton. Number 1, Greenwell. And Greenwell runs quarterback and running back some for Hampton.
Marty, good-looking defensive line. That's Kevin Burkett, 52 at left tackle, Bo Rowland, 65 at nose guard, Saban Moore at the right tackle.
Number 4, Connor Jones in the quarterback now for Hampton. Handoff off the right side. Stopped after a gain of about 6.
Marty, there's that power I formation, just the wham that Coach Rang mentioned in the paper that he wants to stop that, keep them in second and long and third and long. But right there's pretty good football play, got a little bit of movement. And you saw him double team the tackle. One thing you see, number 4, Connor Reagan, who's new to that position at outside linebacker for us. You see him take an outside route, run upfield, double team tackle. He got kicked out. That's what's happened on their last 2 gains.
2nd and 5. And off up the middle. And that will be close to, it will be a first down for Hampton. 10 on the tackle for GP, Carlitos Lopez from his safety position.
And Marty, you do not want your safety making all the tackles when they're in a power I running wham 2 and wham 3. But that's what Hampton likes to do.
1st and 10, 5:28 left to go, opening quarter. Handoff left side.
And Marty, you just saw a good adjustment by defensive coordinator Jimmy Rowland. Went from the 3-4, brought in an extra defensive lineman, moved to a 4-3, and it pays off right there.
And I believe that was Will Brooks.
That was exactly who that is.
On the tackle there. 2nd and 9.
Will Brooks, his granddad and I are good friends. Danny Brooks, who works for the school system in maintenance, and watched Will play since he's a freshman. That kid has worked his tail off, gotten bigger and bigger every year in the weight room, and it's just done a great job for the Highlanders.
Handoff right side, and this time, number 52, Kevin Burkett, wrapped him up. He wasn't going anywhere.
And Marty, Kevin Burkett, in my opinion, is a bona fide college prospect. He's 6'3", 288 pounds, won the 40-yard dash at the Jamboree last week. Really smart academic kid, but he is really something special. This is just his junior year. And, of course, both of his parents went to GP. Roy and Gina Burkett. Of course, his dad, Roy, was a great football player for us back in the early 90s. And his granddad was a great player back in the early 70s, Ray Burkett. Played with some of these old-timers sitting in the room behind us here.
3rd and 9. Jones back to pass out in the flat, finds an open man. Tackled by Lopez, but not until he has a first down. 3rd first down on this drive by GP.
Well, Marty, GP's just playing run all the way and playing what Hampton does best, and that's the number 32. Caleb Oakes that we talked about earlier, just a flat route out of the backfield. Hey, I'm sure he was a load for Lopez to bring down.
1st and 10. Hampton single wide out this side. Handoff fullback up the middle, breaks 1 tackle. Gain of about 4 will bring up a 2nd and 6.
And Marty, there's that power formation that I saw a lot of on film. They'll just kind of line up an offset back, tailback, offset back, and a wing back. And most of the time they run like a little toss sweep off that, or just a straight dive to the fullback. And Marty, there's unbalanced line end over to the wide side of the field to the formation side.
And a quick hitter up the middle. It's going to be another first down. Number 32 for Hampton.
And Marty, I'm not so sure we adjusted to that. We didn't slide over. You see Kevin Burkett get a down block, get double teamed.
GP rotating some linemen. First and 10, 2:26 left to go here in the opening quarter. Hampton driving. Quarterback keeps, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield for a loss.
And Marty, that's one of those two new pair of linebackers we got. That's number 33, Jacob Ferguson, on the own side right there. Was watching those two guys at the Jamboree, 33 and 34, Mickey Cottrell and Jacob Ferguson. They're both about 5'10", 190 pounds. One of those kids, I think it's the younger one of the two, they say he's the strongest kid on the football team. Bench press is about 385 pounds.
Second and 12. Jones at quarterback. Pitch. Going to be number 33, Rob, that you just talked about, comes through and makes the tackle. Jacob Ferguson.
Marty, it's going to be third and long. Good read by Jacob Ferguson. And he's only a sophomore.
Here's the replay. Reads it, comes right through the gap. So third and 13.
And Marty, good read, good tackle by Jacob Ferguson, but I bet if you went back and looked at that on film, we wouldn't be lined up exactly like we need to be on that formation.
Jones rolls out to the right, looks downfield and across the middle, wide open. And there's a flag. I don't know if that's going to be a late hit, roughing the passer.
And Marty, with that late of a whistle, that's just about, most likely that's what it's going to be.
Here's the replay.
Marty, that's just a backside post route right across the middle. A good route, good throw and catch from quarterback to receiver.
So the penalty tacked on after the play takes the ball down to GP's 17-yard line, where it will be first and 10 for Hampton.
And Marty, end over, and we really haven't, I don't think we've made a good adjustment to that.
Gain of about 8, going to bring up a 2nd and 2.
Marty, here they come with the extra defensive lineman, going to take a linebacker out.
Well, that was a first down, first and goal from the 7. Jones keeps it. I think that was a busted play.
Jones on the carry.
And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. Jones gets the ball down to about the 3-yard line. And as we start the second quarter, it will be 2nd and goal from the 3 for Hampton. I want to talk a little bit about our sponsors this year. Very lucky to have a primary sponsor, Greenbrier Bee Company. Then the new Greenbrier Restaurant and Beck's Grill are on board this year as sponsors. We appreciate that, and if you'll look there on the screen, you see the locally produced honey.
Marty, of course, anybody interested in buying any of that honey, they can get it at Kirby Smith's new Farm Kitchen restaurant across from 5 Oaks Mall. You can get it at the Whole Earth Grocery at the Winery Square. There, and Marty, there's our new Muth jar, we call it, and a lot of folks like that decorative jar. But at the Whole Earth Grocery and the Winery Square, of course, it's a good place to shop anyway for any health food needs, vitamin needs, and they use it in the recipes at the Greenbrier restaurant. Or you can call me and I can hook you up with a bottle. And of course, Marty, at the end of this game, we will be naming Greenbrier Bee Company Offensive Player of the Game, Greenbrier Restaurant Defensive Player of the Game, and a Beck's Place Play of the Game. And Marty, while we're talking about sponsorships, great pregame meal in the Letterman's Lounge tonight before the game. sponsored by
provided by
Coach Benny and Beverly Hammonds. Fantastic spread. You know, the thing I liked on the menu tonight was Benny's homemade pimento and cheese.
Benny said it was a mayonnaise fest, said everything over there was made with mayonnaise. First and goal from the 4-yard line. Hampton, or second and goal. Jones at quarterback. Handoff off the left side and into the end zone. Touchdown, Hampton. And Rob, with the exception of the roughing the passer penalty, that was pretty much, I say it was power football, but there were a couple of big passing plays for first downs too on Hampton's drive.
Is it a 97-yard drive?
97 yards. So Hampton takes the ball right down the field, scores, and now will attempt the extra point. Number 3, Michael Harrison to kick it. And it's blocked by Lopez. So, after the block, 11:58 left to go. Second quarter. GP leads 14-6. Here's the block. Off the edge.
And Marty, that's a lot of good coaching, but that's also Carlitos Lopez being just fearless. Of course, he's a good athlete. He's got great speed, but just burst right out of his stance. Good timing, going to where the football's going to be, getting those arms stretched out. And that's his second big play of the night. Well, it's not his only 2 big plays, but his second block, punt, or kick. Marty, you got to give it to Hampton. Gatlinburg Pittman went up 14-0 pretty quick in the game, and they had the wherewithal to hang in there mentally and physically and put together a drive the length of the field and just play their type of football.
Here's the kick. Schober and Akey deep for GP. Hampton still kicks it short. Fielded by Lopez. Gets it out to about the 39 where GP will begin their actually only second offensive possession of the game.
And Marty, you were talking earlier, said, you know, that there is one question, it's depth. And when you talk about depth on a football team, it's not just injury depth that you're talking about. It's talking about players having to go both ways and play on special teams. When you got somebody at 6'5", 288 pounds in the 3rd week of August, that's pretty tough to do.
First and 10, Schultz rolls to the right. Throws downfield to a wide open Schobert. And that's going to be touchdown, Gatlinburg Pittman. And Rob, watch the brawl
no
that
Bryce
Akey makes on
that's what I was getting ready to say. Wisconsin and J.D. Schultz are going to get the helmet decal for that play, but they need to give at least half of that to Bryce Akey. Watch him pick up this block. Now that
it's a little bit too late.
But what a great job by the offensive line and Bryce Akey picking up the blocks. Perfect strike downfield from J.D. Schultz to number 6,
so Flynn
Schober.
Flynn for the extra point. And Hampton was offsides again. I think GP's going to go for 2 this time.
And Marty, I came over to watch practice one day, and I saw this kid out there, and I couldn't figure out who it was. At first, you know, I knew it wasn't Ethan Stinnett or Lopez or Trayvon. And then I kept saying, who is this kid? Who's that good-looking kid that's in the receiver corps? And then Tony Stinnett said, that's a guy named Jason Schober that moved here from Wisconsin.
GP counter to Akey, and he's going to be stopped short. Rob, that's the same play they ran for a touchdown in the Jamboree, that little counter. But they're stopped short, so with 11:41 left to go in the second quarter. Here's the replay. Again, Akey just stoned that guy coming off the corner.
Marty, look right there. You're talking about a deep ball. J.D. Schultz, who's had a great career already here at GP. That's second touchdown pass on the night. I think out of all the quarterbacks we've had, he probably throws the best deep ball of anybody.
I don't know if Kevin could go that instant. It needs to go back a little further, and he may not be able to, but if he could go back to the snap, Kevin, where we could see that see Bryce get that block. I don't know if we're able to do that or not,
But you know, another thing JD did really well. He didn't eye his receiver all the way down the field. Had good footwork, but he also had bodies around him. But he hung in there poised, kept his stance, kept his feet alive, got rid of the ball in traffic. What a great play! Of course, a great kid. I saw him on television in an interview.
Here it is. Now watch Akey pick this rusher off. Boom!
And see, that really was not Akey's responsibility.
No.
He was lined up to pick off edge players on this side of the field.
But he saw him coming.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin on the instant replay in addition to all the camera work. Glenn, kickoff is going to be fielded at the 10.
Another block in the back.
Splits. And it was not called.
You know, that's a block in the back that was a really bad one. That's Connor Reagan, our starting outside linebacker. And Marty, the block in the back on the first kickoff was really not flagrant. This one they got away with, and it was really bad.
And Rob, we have a new trainer this year.
Marty, actually, I don't think we have a trainer now. Scott Bird left to take a kind of a regional manager position over all the trainers, and a lady came in, but she is already gone. Okay. And I'm guessing right now our head trainer is Wayne Brandenburg, and I think if you zoom in, you're going to see Wayne right there. And maybe we do have that's what I was told this week.
And they may have substituted somebody else tonight, but obviously there's Connor, a 6'1", 205-pound junior running back linebacker.
Marty, he's our starting outside linebacker.
And
did not look good.
No, it was incidental.
So are you in the back row or the front row right now?
He had his foot planted and got hit, bent the wrong way.
Marty, certainly hate to see that. During the pause, there are a couple people that we need to thank. One, starting with our directors of school, Jack Parton, and of course a Gatlinburg-Pittman alumnus, and played at the same time, I guess, that Terry Williams and some of those guys played. Him and his brother Buddy Parton were on the same team. And of course, Jack is a great supporter of athletics in all of our schools. He is the longest tenured superintendent of schools in the state of Tennessee. Of course, a big thanks to him, and big thanks to our new principal here at Gatlinburg-Pittman, Mr. Gary Stennett. We all hated to see Tony Ogle leave. He took a job at central office. Everybody loved Mr. Ogle, but everybody loves Mr. Gary Stennett as well. Welcome him. And Marty, there's only one bad thing about Gary Stennett. He played football at Seymour High School. He was he was an all-state running back his senior year, 3,000 plus career rushing yards, rushed for 1,500 yards his senior year, played 2 years at ETSU. So, but I'm happy to have him as a Highlander.
Hampton will put the ball in play at their own 34-yard line. Jones still at quarterback. Handoff, left side, and into the secondary. Number 2, Caleb Royston, or 32. 32,
Marty,
Caleb Oaks.
I tell you one thing that Hampton's doing, Marty, lining up with that tight end and power eye to the tight end side, they're outnumbering the Highlanders on that side of the football.
Second and 2. Hampton. Handoff right side and into the backfield was, I believe that was 33. We're calling his name a lot tonight, Jacob Ferguson, linebacker.
And Marty, he just got a good read. And one thing I do like about these two new linebackers, and another kid that's been playing a lot in their linebackers, number 51, Ryan Weeks. Those kids get up there, getting their stance and getting their read, and they play upfield football. They attack the run. Not blitzing as much tonight as we did in the Jamboree.
3rd and 4. Quarterback keeps it into the secondary. Jones is finally tackled by Stinnett. And Rob, I think that may have been a busted play.
And Marty, we've got another kid down on the field. That's number 5, Houston Bird, holding his knee. Houston's a big part of this football team. He's a backup quarterback, cornerback, and receiver.
Let's watch it. It looked like this quarterback intended to do something else. I don't know whether he missed a handoff or that was a design play.
I think that was a design run. And again, Marty, they're playing 5-on-4 on that side of the football. We're going to have to make an adjustment to the strength of the formation.
So we have a timeout as we look at a.
And Marty, I hate to see that. I mentioned him when you asked me about my impressions of the Jamboree. He's the kid that came in as a junior JV quarterback. Another Catons Chapel kid. His mom, Miss Vicki Bird, teaches at Catons Chapel, one of the nicest ladies, the best teachers in the school system. And, man, you hate to see that. 2 plays, 2 injured Highlanders.
Well, as you mentioned, Rob, backup quarterback looked very good for his first quarterback experience in the Jamboree for the
and this is the first year he ever
junior
played
varsity.
quarterback.
But Hampton comes right back down the field. We'll have it 1st and 10 at GP's 15-yard line. Jones at quarterback. Handoff, number 32. Caleb Oakes, tackled by Saban Moore. We'll bring up a 2nd and we'll say 8.
And Marty, that's just a great play by Saban Moore, taking on that big offensive tackle. Did you see that's how you draw it up on the chalkboards? Hands inside the numbers, extend the arms, get off the block, and had his eyes up, got off and made a tackle. Impressive play by Saban Moore.
2nd and 6. 9:24 left to go, 2nd quarter. Handoff. And GP played that better, but good effort by number 32. Oakes still gained about 2, I believe.
And Marty, a formation that a lot of the old Highlanders looks familiar to. 2 tight ends, power I, just running the wham right there. Good job by the defensive line. Good job by number 11, Ethan Stinnett. Kept bouncing everything outside. Nice play by Stinnett.
So we'll bring up a 3rd and 6. Back to pass. Jones into the end zone is going to be out the back of the end zone. We'll bring up 4th down. Good coverage that time.
4th down, and what's the distance?
6 yards for 1st down. And Hampton has evidently called it. Nope. Thought they had called a timeout, but
Marty, they just got to get to the 5-yard line for the 1st down. And with that power running formation, 1st and 10 inside the 5 is going to be tough to hold them out.
There is a timeout now, I believe, or is that an equipment issue? GP had to run a substitute in.
And Lopez is out. Number 9, Wade Hooper, coming in for Carlitos Lopez in a pretty intense situation right here.
4th down, 6. Jones in the shotgun. 3 wide outs, wide side of the field. Jones looks that direction. Going to be flushed out of the pocket. Throws it into the end zone and
intercepted. By number 19, Liam Brackens. And Marty.
Was that 9 or 19?
19. And good pressure and good initial pressure by Kevin Burkett coming around right there. Quarterback got away from him. Then I think you see number 33 flying in here from his linebacker spot, putting more pressure. And then number 19, Liam Brackens. actually just out-fought that guy for the football. Great play.
So, GP will take over on the interception. Have it 1st and 10 at the 20. 8:23 left to go second quarter.
Marty, we need a couple more touchdowns because Hampton's a little bunch of fighters.
GP, 2 wideouts both sides. Schultz and shotgun. There's the blitz. There's the screen, middle screen. Lopez upfield. Gets a block. Makes a man miss. And first down GP out to the 44.
Marty scared me to death. The play, there's a lot of traffic around the football that was well executed. But what a great job by his receiving mates downfield blocking.
It looked for a minute like this might go, Rob.
Actually, I said the downfield blocks by the receivers. That was Will Brooks and number 65, Bo Rowland.
Handoff, Akey. Right side, cuts it back up the middle. Breaks outside. It's a foot race. Akey, 20, 15, 10, cuts back inside. Stumbles down to about the 4-yard line.
Wow, what a run. What a run by Bryce Akey. Breaking tackles, outrunning players, keeping his balance.
Here's the replay. Starts off the right side, cuts it back. And number 6 does a good job not to block in the back right there, Rob.
Marty, that play started with the guy whose name I haven't mentioned tonight. He's a new player in the lineup, number 56, Ryan Cherub, 6 foot, 295-pound center.
First and goal. 3-yard line. Handoff. Akey up the middle. Spins, and I think he's going to be just short. Will be second and goal from the 1.
Marty, if we get a replay, watch our center back block right here. He's got a one technique to his right side. Watch him snap the football. Block back on this defensive tackle. You see Kevin Burkett trying to pull. That's a pretty good job by our center. You know, we had a great center last year, Colton Simpson. And, you know, when you lose somebody like him, you always worry about somebody stepping up and filling his shoes. Nice block by our center.
Second and goal. Schultz under center. Handoff again. Akey into the end zone. Touchdown, Gatlinburg-Pittman.
And Marty, when the Highlanders had to play power football, they did it. Look at big Kevin. Look at that big line coming up there. What a great unit. Saban, Brooks, Cherub, Burkett, and Rowland. And a heck of a job by that fullback. Who is the fullback? You know, number 34, Mickey Cockrell, or Mikey Cockrell.
Bad snap. Pretty good job. And number 5, Houston Bird, was back in the lineup there as a holder, so he may be okay. Rob, you know Coach Hammond's watching that offensive line play. He's got to be tickled to death.
You know he is, and of course I am too. But Marty, while we got a second, I got to tell you, I saw something in the stands tonight in Hampton. One of the best T-shirts I've ever seen in my life. There is a mom down there wearing, let's see, I wrote it down, proud mother of a lineman.
Right.
Proud parent of a lineman.
Proud parent of a lineman.
Now that might be the only time that T-shirt's ever been printed and worn.
So GP has not been stopped on offense. Has scored on every offensive possession so far, Rob.
No, Marty, I can see the T-shirt. It's right down directly below me. It says "Proud Mom of a Lineman." Maybe we can get Kevin to zoom in on it. We get it. I mean, it's just about 3 rows down directly below me. He's too wrapped up in achy breaky heart.
Yeah, Kevin, right there.
There we go.
There. Proud mom of a lineman. All guts, no glory.
Love it. I ought to go down there and try to
see where she got
where
that.
She got it.
Flynn kicks off across field. This is going out of bounds. I'm sure they had a plan, but I'm sure they didn't mean to kick it out of bounds. So Hampton will start with good field position.
Marty, great job. Great place tonight. I mean, just the most beautiful setting. in America for a high school football stadium here at Hammond Stadium, Legion Field, on the campus of Gatlinburg-Pittman.
So Hampton put the ball in play at their own 40, 1st and 10. Jones, the quarterback. Jones back to throw. And it's intercepted again if he got his feet down.
Number 6, Jaden Schober.
His feet, he evidently did not get his feet down, so incomplete pass, but good coverage from the Highlanders. You see Schober started to break up, and I'm not sure he didn't get his foot down there.
That should have been an interception.
That was close.
Marty, I think he had both feet in.
He may have. The official was probably screened by the Hampton receiver, but I think that was a good interception. Handoff, left side, cuts it back up the middle.
Well, a nice save by Lopez.
Number 21, the running back, Matt Hughes, a senior for Hampton, is tackled after about a 6-yard gain. We'll call it 3rd and 4.
Marty, Carlitos Lopez has put on a defensive clinic tonight. And he's listed at 5'11", 160 pounds. He looks and plays a lot bigger than that.
3rd and 5. Handoff, left side. Into the secondary, finally tackled by number 6 and number 19, Schobert and Brackens. But Rob, once he got to the line of scrimmage, it was wide open.
Well, Marty, it's just, it's again that power formation, and it's, they're playing 5-on-4 football, good down blocks. Our outside linebacker kind of got upfield a little bit and got kicked out, and just a good football play by Hampton.
1st and 10, Hampton up the middle. Good strong run. Going to be a gain of, we'll say 6. Bring up a 2nd and 4.
Marty, we knew coming into the game, number 32 is their best player.
Caleb Oakes, a senior. They have him listed as a tight end and a linebacker.
Well, most of the time in the film that I saw, he would line up in like an H-back or a fullback position.
2nd and 3. Jones. Handoff off the right side, cuts it back. And Hampton's definitely found something. 1st down, Hampton. Will be 1st and 10 from the GP's 12-yard line.
And Marty, that's just your old power eye wham 6 right there. Block down on the tackle, kick out the end or outside linebacker, lead up in the hole with the blocking back, and it's tough to defend.
1st and 10, 4:26 left to go, 2nd quarter. GP out in the lead, 26-6. And maybe a gain of 1 that time. Let's see who got their first hand on them here.
Yeah, that center did not snap the ball. They were, no doubt about it, offsides.
Number 34, Mikey Cockrell, got his hand on him, and then followed up with number 53, Moore. 2nd and 8. Handoff, left side, cuts it back in. It's going to be stopped. And Rob, I believe it may have been number 21, Flores, that stayed outside and forced the play back inside.
Marty, I think you're right, and allowed number 50, Will Brooks, to make the play.
Yep.
Of course, you really don't want him flying upfield that much. Of course, I've known Rodrigo since he was a little kid. Really good boy. One of the hardest workers. Marty, I'd see him at your gym up at the community center working out in addition to what he did at the end of the school day here at the high school.
So timeout asked for by Hampton. 3:22 left to go, second quarter. We'll bring up a 3rd and 8. Again, want to thank our sponsors. Primary sponsor, Greenbrier Bee Company. The new Greenbrier Restaurant. Beautiful facility. If you've not been up there yet, get the chance. Need to go up. And Beck's Grill.
Beck's Place.
Beck's Place, right.
And, of course, Marty, they can buy honey from me. They buy it at the Farm Kitchen Restaurant, which is one of the best restaurants in the county. And or they can go to Whole Earth Grocery in the Winery Square of Gatlinburg and purchase it from Jan.
Are you not doing personal home delivery on the product?
If within a reasonable distance, I do.
Third and 8. Hampton from the 10-yard line. Single wide out, unbalanced line. They get out the ball outside. And it's going to be short of the first down. Liam Brackens put a lick on him.
Liam Brackens just made a highlight tackle. And see, look, got tripped up by Stennett. and oh, that looks good on film. Of course, Brackens intercepted the ball in the end zone earlier in the night. He's had a couple of big plays tonight.
I thought it was 4th and 2.
I think it is
It
fourth.
is 4th and 2. Oh, stopped in the backfield.
And Marty, it scared me. That unbalanced line just scares me to death. And Kevin Burkett, number 52, swallowed that play home. And that's going to be Hampton's going to turn the football. Watch Burkett right there, number 52, lined up on their offensive tackle. Comes out of his stance, and I mean, he just ate it alive.
So the Highlanders, after a long drive by Hampton, critical 4th down stop, will take over the ball on their own 5-yard line.
Marty, how many? We used to keep a statistician up here with us, and I wonder how many snaps GP's offense has had tonight.
Akey makes one, breaks a tackle, cuts it outside, makes another man miss, still on his feet. And a 15-yard gain, and a lot of that we got on his own. Bryce Akey.
And Marty, that takes a lot of pressure off your offense when you get it out of the hole like that. I mean, there's a psychological disadvantage of coming out when you're inside your 5-yard line. And
number 56, center Ryan Cherub, had a great block that time to help spring Akey. 1st and 10. GP, 2 wide outs both sides. Schultz in the shotgun, Akey in the backfield. Man in motion. There's the handoff. Back to Schultz to a wide open Lopez, and he's gone. There will be nobody touch Carlitos Lopez. No flags. Touchdown, Gatlinburg Pittman.
Wow. Flea flicker, double reverse. And Jason Schultz, of course, I saw him J.D. Schultz, I saw him sitting back there. I knew what was coming. And we tried this the first play of the game in the Jamboree. Great execution, great ball skills. And J.D. just throws a perfect strike to Lopez. And, Marty, I just thought it was going to be about a 25-yard gain. And I just, he had 4 guys there in position to make the tackle. And Carlitos beat 5 players.
And number 6, very smart. Leave the guy alone. You've got the touchdown. Don't block behind. Great play, Gatlinburg Pittman. Flynn for the extra point.
Do you think J.D. Schultz has broken a sweat yet? He's thrown he's thrown 3 touchdown passes. He's not even sweating.
Point after is good. GP, an offensive explosion here in the first half, leads Hampton 33-6. And Rob, you talk about demoralizing. You have a big 4th down stop. Then you come out, and in less than a minute, you go the 95 yards to score before halftime.
Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids could have made the tackle right there. JD just put on a couple of moves, and then just Carlitos, a couple of moves, a burst of speed. And Carlitos has had a career night tonight.
What an impressive performance here in the first half from the Highlanders.
You know, on the other side of the ball, if you're Hampton, you have to be extremely frustrated because they've put together, like to see, the stats are going to be fascinating, especially the offensive stats. Time of possession, plays run by Hampton, plays run by GP, total yardage, and Hampton's put together some great drives. And it really just kind of out-physicaled our defensive line. And they only have 6 points to show for it. We've got 33.
So Flynn to kick off. Kick is off, and that one I think is going into the end zone, where Hampton will put it in play at the 20-yard line. 2:13 left to go here in the first half. GP scored on every offensive possession tonight.
And GP's punt team has not been on the field. Of course, you know, one thing, speaking of kickers and punters, you know, Coach Hammond's brought on Al Shirley onto his staff several years ago as a kicking coach. And we had some dedicated kickers. And in my opinion, the football team has improved because of it. Al does a great job with those kickers, and he's got some kids that have just been reliable and just been a huge addition to our football program.
1st and 10 pitch. Flores is in the backfield, slows him up, and allows number 10 Lopez to get in there for the tackle. Watch Flores on the corner, Rob. Turns him back in, holds him up just enough for Lopez to get there. 2nd and 13. Clock running. And Rob, well, I'll bring this point up after this play. Jones keeps the ball, and it's going to be tackled in the backfield.
And Marty, that time GP responded. It did a good job to the unbalanced offense, and such a big scrum of bodies, I couldn't tell who was on the football. See Saban Moore kind of taking on a double team there. It looked like the backside defensive lineman.
And the linebacker was in there again too, Jacob Ferguson. And Rob, GP out to the lead like this. Hampton is a power football team that likes to run the ball. They're out of their game plan now.
You could say that. Of course, you see our center, number 56, Ryan Cherrick, coming in for Bo Rollins at nose guard. Both linebackers walked up.
Jones in the shotgun. And there's a flag, and too much time will be a 5-yard penalty on Hampton. That was a delay.
Marty, would you consider calling timeout, trying to force Hampton to punt the football and get a chance at
it would
Jaden
not
Schober running one back?
It would not surprise me.
Or a block punt. And, you know, we blocked a punt and a extra point. And, you know, really, to me, both times I didn't see fault by the snapper or the punter. I think we just made a great play.
3rd and 17. Jones rolls out to the right. Going to throw it deep. We have good coverage. That pass, that pass could have been intercepted, but that will stop the clock on the incomplete pass. Bring up a 4th and 17. We've already blocked one punt tonight.
Pretty good job by the Highlanders. They showed blitz with all linebackers, and then they backed off. 2 dropped into coverage, and you saw number 33 trying to get used to these new names. Ferguson kind of coming off the edge there, keeping outside contain on the quarterback. But good pressure, good play downfield.
So, punt formation for Hampton. Stented and Schobert deep. The punt is off. It's It's going to be fielded by, takes a bounce away from Schobert, lets it go, and downed, and GP will have the ball with 23 seconds left to go at the 45-yard line, and GP has 2 timeouts.
You know, Marty, we don't know Jaden Schobert. He's new to the GP program, but that's the 3rd time tonight that I've seen him make a really good football decision. You mentioned one earlier. He didn't make a bad block in the back or something when it was going to be an obvious touchdown. He's done that twice, and then that was probably a pretty good decision there. Obviously, kid comes from a pretty good football program in Wisconsin.
So GP, 2 timeouts left.
Or Coach Rang and our assistant coaches have done a great job coaching him up since he's been here.
And Rob, I just have the feeling we won't set on this lead. Schultz rolls out to the left, looks downfield, finds an open receiver at the 40-yard line. That will be a hold or a
Flag on the field.
Yeah, it's going to be holding.
It's coming back.
Holding against Gallenberg Pittman.
Pass was complete to Lopez, but negated by the penalty.
You know, Marty, for an early season football game, there has not been a lot of flags. Usually this time of the year, the field's just littered with them. And that says a lot about the coaching of both of these teams, getting them prepared, getting them ready. You know, also getting them in shape. A lot of times when you're not in shape and the weather's hot, you kind of get sloppy and have penalties. But 2 well-coached football teams here.
1st and 30 and GP just going to let the clock run out now. Go to the halftime with the big lead, 33-6. Rob, an impressive first half by the Highlanders. We'll be back. You enjoy the performance by the Gallenberg Pittman Band, and we'll be back with second half action. Marty Nicely, along with Rob Younger, Kevin Tierney, Tana Trenum, back here at halftime, where Gatlinburg-Pittman has a big lead, 33-6 over Hampton. Rob, GP scored on every offensive possession. A lot of big plays.
Marty, it has, and I just can't wait to see the stats at the end of this game and offensive stats. And one thing about it, we've kept our offensive players fresh, and J.D. Schultz has not taken any hits tonight. And, of course, he's – how many touchdown passes? 3.
3.
For about 300 yards.
Yep.
Has not thrown an incomplete pass tonight. Good look at the home crowd right there.
And we hear a little Bruce Springsteen here, born in the USA.
Marty, in my opinion, of course, everybody talks about Texas high school football, and I've been out there and seen some of those stadiums. And but to me, we have just the most beautiful high school football stadium in America. Great tradition here.
Well, Rob, if folks didn't see it.
And Marty, and speaking about some of our fans, and I do believe that's Brian Covington. Happy to have him here after his health issues over the spring and summer. Of course, there's never been a bigger GP fan than Brian Covington.
Robin, if people didn't see it, Channel 10 WBIR had a special called Summer Grind, and it was a special on GP. About a 4 or 5 minute segment. You can find it on WBIR's app, and it may even be on YouTube. But it talked to Coach Rang, talked to J.D. Schultz and Bryce Akey, and it really emphasized the setting, the backdrop, and took a shot from the scoreboard here looking down the field up toward Mount Lacotte, and even the anchors at Channel 10 were talking about what a setting this is. And I would encourage people, if they didn't see it, go to Channel 10 or WBIR app and scroll down and you'll find it, or you can probably find it on YouTube also. But it was a really, really good piece.
It's a great place. Every time I have company from out of town, they want to go to Cades Cove or hike to a waterfall. This is one of the first places I bring them. I say, hey, I've got to show you our high school football facilities, our high school field, and they're just blown away by it.
So GP will kick off to begin the second half. Rob, Hampton showed the ability to pass the ball some the first half, but they're primarily a power running team, and now they're down 33-6. Does this take them completely out of their game plan, or do they come out and line up and still try to run the ball?
You know, Marty, that's a good question. They just don't throw the ball that well, but they're going to have to. You know, one thing that they haven't learned, they've still got their deep guys lined up on the 13-yard line, and Bryson Flynn's going to kick this one to the end zone as well. But Marty, I just don't know. I can't speak for them. I don't know if they have the confidence to do that. But obviously, they're not going to make up this deficit. And 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Right, and obviously that would still be dependent on them holding Gatlinburg scoreless, which, based on the first half, they don't have the capability to do.
And Marty, just an impressive performance by the Highlander offense. Great play calling by Coach Derek Rang, and we were talking about him at halftime. What a great football coach he is, and love having him here. What a great play caller. He's a good football coach. He was a great defensive coach last year when he was calling that side of the ball. But great job by the Highlanders. And Marty, one thing too is during halftime, went over to the Letterman's Lounge, packed in there with old players, old coaches. Coach Hammonds wanted a picture with everybody. It just really, really great atmosphere in there. The Highlander Nation's having a great night.
So Flynn to kick off. That kick's going to be fielded at about the 15. Cuts up the sideline. Pretty good return out to about the 34, where Hampton will have it 1st and 10. Here's the replay. Actually, he got outside contained a little bit there, Rob. It looked like we had him pinned, and we cut in, and he got outside the outside contain there and gained about 10 more yards up the sideline.
Good corner kick by Flynn.
So, 1st and 10, one wide out. Jones at quarterback. Handoff fullback off the right side. And that ball came out. No whistle. GP comes out with the ball.
And Marty, that's the second turnover from number 19, Liam Brackens, if indeed they're going to call it GP football. All the breaks are going to the Highlanders. Highlanders came up, number 33 are linebackers coming in the B gap. Fullback made a great job, bounced it out to the C gap. Good offensive play.
And let's see here. That ball's out. Ball is out. Picked up.
Marty, it might have been number 6, Schober, that got his helmet, got a shoulder pad on the football. And another huge break for the Highlanders. Boy, the Hampton Bulldogs just have to be demoralized after this.
GP, 3 wide outs, wide side of the field. Schultz and shotgun. Rolls out right, looks downfield, is pressured, throws to Akey. And I think they're going to call a hold back here, and there may be a late hit. Downfield, we'll see let the officials sort it out.
And Marty, that's exactly, watch Akey right here on the top of the screen as a running back. He's going to come up and block the outside linebacker, and then at the last second, he's going to slide off and get into the route. And J.D. Schultz.
Rob, if they called holding or something, that was a terrible call.
If they called holding, it's Kevin Burkett. That is a bad call.
That was terrible. All he did was push him. What is this? I don't know what that signal was. Is this signal helmet to helmet?
I think it does.
Penalty was holding against Gatlinburg Pittman. 3-P, first down.
Is that an ejection? Oh, that was a great block by number 11 there. That should not have been a flag. That was a crackback block. That was a great block.
Well, Marty, we need to make sure that Ethan Stinn at number 11, he's still in the game. Obviously not an ejection.
So, 1st and 30 for GP. Schultz fakes the handoff, looks downfield. There's the pass in the backside, wide open. Reese Cole breaks one tackle and then is forced out of bounds. Rob, all the action was this side and then threw back on the backside to Reese Cole wide open. Wasn't anybody within 15 yards of him.
What a great play call. Good formation. You see the formation to the wide side of the field. Everybody's playing the field and the formation. Reese Cole slips out the backside. Little short pass. And of course, Big Reese is.
There was a face mask. Should have been a 15-yarder there on a face mask.
Reese is a 6'4", 225-pound sophomore tight end.
Handoff up the middle.
Who is a great weapon for the Highlanders, and you saw him make a catch in the Jamboree. Of course, he is the son of Charlie Cole, the fire chief of Gatlinburg. Good football and basketball player.
No gain. Bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Highlanders. Schultz gets the play from Coach Ryan, brings it back to the huddle. Wide outs, Cole in the slot, single wide out. Direct snap to Akey in the shotgun, and he's going to be into the end zone. Touchdown, Gatlinburg Pittman.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
No way. No way.
Wait a minute. It's a touchdown when you cross the goal line.
Yes.
We'll watch that. They called a fumble out the back of the end zone, a touchback. We'll see if he lost control of the ball going in, but just a direct snap to Akey. Great blocking. Well, that was close.
Good grief. Marty, hey.
First and 10, Bulldogs.
With the advantage of having instant replay in slow motion, I would call that a touchdown. But I would call it a great, great play. And a direct snap to Akey. And you saw Reese Cole lined up at a kind of a wing, kind of an H-back right there, led the way, and a down block by the guard and pulled by the center. And those kids both got downfield and made big blocks. Beautiful football play.
And a whistle before the snap. Timeout asked for by Hampton. With timeout, 10-19 left to go in the third quarter. GP leads 33-6. Second possession of the half for Hampton.
Marty, great night to be a Highlander. Again, a just fantastic atmosphere in the Letterman's Lounge. Saw a lot of old players. One of the best linemen, in my opinion, that's played here, a guy named Tommy Roberts. You remember Tommy played for us back in the 90s. He was in there with his children. Another saw Kirby Smith and his son Boston was in the Letterman's Lounge tonight. Great to see him up and out and able to go to the game. Well, you see some good blocks right there. But Coach, and you could just tell how proud Coach Hammonds was and happy to see all those old players and coaches in there.
Rob, it was close, but after looking at it again, I believe he'd broken the play. I think that was a touchdown. Good crowd on the far side. Hampton walks up to the line, 1st and 10. Jones keeps the ball off the right side. Going to be stopped after a gain of about 5.
Jones on the carry.
Number 51 for Gatlinburg Pittman. Ryan Weeks on the tackle.
Marty, nice to have Mike Warner back as our PA. I heard him there. I saw him pulling it, driving over the same time we were, and I'm happy to have him back. Great to have Greg Patterson over there playing the music for us. These guys do a great job. Mike's always done a great job. Anytime that we've needed somebody to fill in this broadcast, he's always done a great job plugging in.
2nd and 6. Hampton runs a lineman in late. Pass out in the flat to number 1, and coming up from his secondary position, number 10, Carlitos Lopez.
Marty, he has put on a clinic tonight.
3rd down for the Bulldogs.
Everybody read the play well. This kid's pretty fast, number 1.
Coming all the way from his safety position.
But just watch what an angle and a great open field tackler he is.
3rd and 9. Loss of 3 on that play.
Do what? She works at Tennessee State Bank now in Gatlinburg.
Jones alone in the backfield. 2 wideouts both sides. Snap. Looks to the right side. Getting pressure. Rolls out. Looks downfield. And a pretty good break on the ball. Pass was underthrown, but Lopez, I think, got a hand on it to knock it down. We'll bring up 4th down.
And Marty, quarterback has cramps in his leg. Good pressure by the Highlanders. We haven't had a sack tonight, but good pressure right there. Quarterback evades a sack. And
that was number 8 coming off the corner, Isaiah Thompson.
And again, Marty, that's, of course, I don't think that would have been a complete pass, but the player that broke on the ball and knocked it down was Lopez.
GP should come out with pretty good field position. Punt is up. Going to be fielded. Now he lets it drop. That's something that Coach Rang will work on. You had a chance there for a return, I believe, if you'd fielded the ball.
1st and 10, Gatlinburg Pittman.
Marty, that's one of those things, and if you've not, and believe it or not, I've actually fielded a punt before. It's probably one of the most difficult balls in football to catch, and you got guys running at you. If you're just not absolutely sure about it, you're better off just to let the ball take its bounce.
Right. But I thought your expertise was snapping the ball over the punter's head.
Well, that's what I did best.
If you haven't heard that story, have Rob Younger tell you that story sometime.
Hey, the punter said get it up.
1st and 10, Gatlinburg Pittman. Schultz. Handoff. And
Akey on the carry.
Akey on the carry. He's going to be stopped after no gain, we'll say.
2nd down, Gatlinburg Pittman.
He's 2nd and 10. Well, gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Marty, I'm loving this offensive line with Saban Moore, left tackle, Will Brooks at left guard, Ryan Cherub, who's impressed me tonight. I was worried about that spot after Colton Simpson graduated. Kevin Burkett's just he's off the charts good. And Bo Rowland, the right tackle, who had a great junior year last year, preseason All-State, great offensive line.
Hampton was lined up all sides, no call. Schultz downfield, intended for Schobert. It's caught. Was he inbounds? No. The official thought about that. I don't know if we'd be able to tell on a replay. I thought he was going to rule him inbounds, and he hesitated and then called him out.
It was at least a hard decision for him.
Yep. Here's we'll see here. That might have been a good call. Oh, he dropped the ball. Ball came out anyway, so it was incomplete pass.
J.D. Schultz's only incomplete pass of the football game.
3rd and 9. Screen pass. Stinnett needs to break. Gets past one man, has the first down, breaks a tackle.
And Marty, that's just a great job by Ethan Stinnett, knowing where the chains are, knowing what he needed, where he needed to get for a first down.
First down, Gatlinburg-Pittman.
And Marty, Ethan Stinnett's a smart football player. I'm glad they did. Nice catch, caught it in a little bit of traffic. But watch him right here. He knows what he needs to get for the first down. Breaks one tackle, makes a move. Actually broke 3 tackles.
And Rob, people might have noticed linemen downfield. If you throw the ball and it's caught behind the line of scrimmage, your linemen are allowed to get downfield, aren't they?
Yes. Ethan Stinnett from a great football family. Of course, we were talking about his dad, Tony Stinnett, was a great player at Sevier County High School and also played at Maryville College as a defensive back, and his uncle Gary, our principal, played at ETSU. But you know, his granddad was the head high school football coach at Seymour High School back in the days before Gary Householder.
1st and 10. Schultz, man in motion.
And his name is Larry Stinnett.
Offsides is going to be on Hampton, lined up in the neutral zone. Will make it 1st and 5 for the Highlanders.
And of course, another thing about that particular football family that I did not know until I was talking to somebody at halftime, that the Stinnetts are first cousins to our Howard King. One of the better, according to all of you old timers that were around when Howard played, he was one of the better defensive ends that we've ever had. Of course, his son was a good player for us last year.
Rob, I have some scores here. Just a second after this play, we'll give a couple of them. And flag, illegal procedure. The official pointed at the GP slot receiver. I don't know what that was about, but a future opponent of GP, Austin East, trails Webb in the 4th quarter, 3-0. Another one that was interesting to me, Rob. At a halftime, West Green leads Northview 20-0. Handoff, Akey off the right side, cuts it outside, still on his feet. Tackled after about a 13-yard gain. It will be 1st and 10 for the Highlanders.
Great blocking, Kevin Burkett. Bo Rowland's got his guy. Marty, that pancake block for Bo Rowland. But Bryce Akey, Marty's one of those running backs that just has everything. He's kind of a short, compact guy, super strong in the weight room. Has a lot of body armor on him, but he's also got great speed, but he can make great cuts, outrun people, but also he can lower his shoulder and run through people. He's just a really versatile running back.
Here's an interesting score, Rob, I'll give to you after this play. GP clock running down. Handoff. Goes to number 33, Jacob Ferguson. Gain of about 5. We'll call it 2nd 5. At the half, if this score is right, the Kings Academy Lions lead the Seymour Eagles 4-0.
Well, Marty, that's obviously 2 safeties is a score I've never heard in my life. That can't be right.
Schultz, handoff. Again, up the middle. And running, I think, for the – it's going to be close to the first down. It is a first down. It will be first and goal for the Highlanders from the 7-yard line.
And Marty, was that number 33 running the football, Jacob Ferguson?
Yes, yes.
Of course, he's the sophomore. We were talking to somebody, and they say he is maybe the strongest football player on the team, benches way over 300 pounds as a sophomore.
2 wideouts. Right side, low snap. Schultz picks it up, and it's going to be intercepted.
Marty, that's just a classic slant route, and J.D. just had that. He knew where he was going with the football. Bad snap. The ball was on the ground. He picked it up and went there anyway, but by the time he should have looked up, and the great job by the defensive back getting underneath the route. But
Knoxville Catholic, who should never be playing Chucky Doak, leads them at third quarter 48-0. Anderson County leads Clinton 21-0. First and 10, Hampton coming off the 1-yard line. Handoff, right side. Wrapped up after a gain of about 2 yards. Will be 2nd and 8. It's the replay.
Great job. Look at number 65, Bo Rowlands, take on the double team and drive them back into the. I mean, he drove those 2 kids back across the goal line. And Marty, he's over 6. Let's see, they have him listed. I think he is listed at 6'5", 285 pounds. He got under the pad of both of the double team and just drove those guys backwards.
2nd and 7. Jones, handoff, the right side. Still short of the first down. Will bring up 3rd and short.
Hughes on the carry.
But just all night long, you see him and Kevin Burkett and Saban Moore on the onside of the play taking on those double teams.
Maryville beating William Blunt at halftime, 35-0. Jones, 3rd and 4, and then stood up by, and you can look at number 52, just collapsed that side of the line, Rob.
Wow, what a play. Let's go back and look at the replay here. Watch the left defensive tackle, number 52, Kevin Burkett, lined up, head up on the offensive tackle. I mean, he absolutely just stuffs the play. You see him take on the lead blocker, and I mean, that play's not going anywhere.
You're not going to block Burkett with a tailback coming out of the backfield.
No. I'm not so sure why the guy that was lined up across from him blocked down.
So fourth down, punting from their own end zone. GP should get good field position. The punt is going to be a short punt, straight up in the air. Takes a GP bounce back, and it's going to be down at the 21-yard line, where Gatlinburg Pittman, outstanding field position, will have it 1st and 10. 2:42 left to go, 3rd quarter.
And Marty, coaching and preparation, and it will create a lot of opportunities for you, but Highlanders have had a lot of breaks in this football game and taken advantage of all of them.
Gibbs, the Gibbs Eagles beating the Halls Red Devils, and the score just went off on me.
Marty, we should have never taught you how to use that smartphone.
I'll tell you, it's dangerous. 13-7, Gibbs leads Halls. Pass in the flat to Akey, and good defensive play that time by the Hampton cornerback Jones, the quarterback, or Akey would still be running.
It was, well-designed play. You see number 33, Ferguson, coming into the game. He's going to come right there across the quarterback's face. Linebackers bid on him.
So we have a little timeout while they tend to Jones. Bradley Central, in a sort of surprise at halftime, is beating Farragut 23-14.
Marty, we were talking earlier, sometime during the second quarter, about how there hasn't been any penalties in the game and injuries and cramps. This is kind of what we've seen in the last 5 or 6 minutes is kind of what you expect in the opening game of the season in mid-August, and seeing a lot of cramping, kids getting tired, making mistakes after they get tired, a few more penalties.
Oliver Springs beating Oneida 7-0. Jefferson County Patriots at halftime lead the Smoky Bears of Sevier County 24-16. Ball's loose.
Marty, that's going to be a Hampton football.
I think it's staying with GP.
Recovered by Brooks.
Good job by Will Brooks. Heads up play, getting the ball back.
Third down for Gatlinburg-Pittman.
Third down, and we'll say 14 for Gatlinburg-Pittman. Obviously 2 down territory on this side of the field. Plus you have a good field goal kicker who's certainly within his range.
Marty, you see your young fullback right there, Ferguson. You see where he's holding the football. He's running in between the tackles, but he got that football out away from his body. You got to tuck it and cover it when you're running through there.
Single coverage out here on Stennett. Schultz throws across the middle, and it's intercepted. And Rob, I don't know what time. We had 2 receivers in the same location right there then. I don't know whether that was.
We see Brackens in the slot and Stennett up at the wide receiver. But I tell you saw that safety move over, get underneath it, and ball was a little bit underthrown.
So, Hampton with their second interception of this half will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 6-yard line. 1:16 left to go, third quarter. Handoff right side on a quick hitter to number 32, Caleb Oakes.
Tackle by Lopez. Stephen Marty again right there. They've just got us outnumbered. We've got 3 guys this side of the center. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just a down block on that tackle, kick out the outside linebacker, and thank goodness for Carlito Lopez.
2nd and 5. Jones pitch to the wide. Flores slows him up, and then to wrap him up, I think number 10, we've called his name a few times tonight.
You know, Marty, he lines up, and he's on paper he's a safety, but he's a glorified linebacker tonight. And Marty, I can't, you know, we're talking about offensive stats. I can't wait to see the defensive stats. Carlito Lopez might have more solo tackles in this game than any kid I've ever seen.
As you mentioned, though, in an ideal situation, you don't want your safety leading you in tackles, though.
Well, that's true, but he's playing. He lines up pre-snap, Marty. He's only about 9 yards off the ball, right. And by the time the ball's snapped, he's creeping up to about 7 and getting a good read on the play.
So that's the end of the third quarter. GP, scoreless quarter from both teams, but GP maintains their 33-6 lead. Rob, one other person, you were thanking people last time, and all of them appropriate, but I want to say a thanks too to somebody that has really helped us out last year and again tonight, the athletic director at GP, Conchita Oaby. We show up tonight, rosters from GP, rosters from Hampton. Chairs are set up. Everything's just perfect for us. So a big shout out to Conchita for her help. Makes our job a little easier.
You know, I was talking. I was kind of getting ready for this broadcast the other night. I was just asking about different coaches and trying to get the scoop on our new principal. We also have a new assistant principal, Miss Amy James. AJ Bennett is still here. All these people were in their day were great athletes. AJ played at Union County, played football at Maryville College. Miss Amy James, our new assistant principal, her dad was a guy that coached basketball at Walter State for like 50 years, Coach Carlisle. I'm not sure where Amy played, but she was a basketball coach. But Conchita Oaby was probably one of the best female athletes to ever go through Sevier County. She's in the Hall of Fame at Sevier County High School, and then of course went on to play at Carson Newman, and then had a good coaching career. And as you said, now she does a great job as the GP athletic director.
3rd and 5. Hampton, shotgun. 3 wide outs. Far side, Jones looks to this side, throws it deep. We got good coverage. That ball's going to be intercepted. And if he can make him miss, there may be a touchdown there. Lopez gets down, and then there's a flag, another flag.
And Marty, you're going to hope that's a late hit against Hampton, but that is Liam Brackens' second interception of the night.
Was it Brackens? I thought it was Lopez.
Oh, I thought it was number 19. But I'm getting on up there in years, so.
Here's the replay. Now it's Carlitos.
That is Carlitos, and that was a heck of an interception. He turned into basically he read the play, Marty, and he just turned into a receiver there. And I'm glad.
So it's block in the back on GP. Penalty 10 yards from the spot.
You know, Carlitos, the way he's playing tonight, Marty, reminds me of, you remember, obviously you remember, I know you're getting on up there in years too, but Colin Garza, you know, a kid that just did everything on both sides of the football and on special teams. And that's the kind of game that Carlitos is having tonight. But Marty, I'd say Carlitos just might be heading toward the Greenbrier Restaurant Defensive Player of the Game.
1st and 10, GP. I know Coach Rang would like to put a score up here. Pass out in the flat. Lopez cuts outside. Good block on the corner by Stennett. Wiped the defensive secondary guy out.
What an incredible block. And Marty, that's a very difficult block to maintain contact and stay with your block out there in the perimeter without getting holding called on you. But watch number 11, Tony Stennett, right here. You see him, he gets his feet under and keeps his feet moving, engages, doesn't hold, just keeps going and puts a pancake and lets Carlitos get another 5 or 6 yards.
1st down, Gatlinburg-Pittman from the Hampton 16-yard line. 2 wide outs this side. Akey in the backfield. Handoff goes to Akey and was not able to break that first tackle. I think the defensive end on that side was untouched, Rob.
Marty, I was trying to watch Kevin Burkett. I could just tell one thing he's going to have to work on is pre-snap stance, and I could tell that he was getting ready to pull right here. And I was kind of watching him because I've seen him a couple times just crush people when he pulls. And you're right, it's the defensive end, and maybe you got to keep your eyes up, and no matter whether that was his assigned guy. What's the old saying? Never run past an odd-colored jersey.
2 wideouts both sides. Schultz, shotgun, fakes the short throw, throws into the end zone and Rob.
I think, did it bounce off his thigh pad?
Yeah, it may have. A little bit underthrown. If it had been thrown just to the inside, Stennett was open, it would have been a touchdown. There's the replay.
We have 3rd down for Gatlinburg.
Just slightly underthrown.
You know, one thing is watching the offensive line play, of course, and you know, we had two offensive line coaches, Matt Evans and Paige Yates, that had been here a long time. Coach Matt Evans played at Tennessee Wesleyan and came back and spent other than a few years at King's Academy, spent most of his career here. Just a great offensive line coach. The players hated when those 2 guys retired. But what I hear is that the new offensive line coach, Tyler Williams, has just done a fantastic job picking up where they left off, and a lot of people talk really highly of him as a football coach. Does a great job in the weight room, but when Coach Evans retired, he just picked right up and has that offensive line ready. Very impressed with him.
We mentioned head coach Derek Rang, his third year, assisted by Tyler Williams, Rashid Moore, Ty Marshall, Zach Flynn, Jimmy Rowland, Jason Schultz, and Al Shirley.
Great group of guys. Of course, don't know those guys real well. Jimmy Rowland played at Sevier County High School, played, I think, at Tennessee Wesleyan until a couple years before they dropped their program. Of course, I know Rashid real well, great positional coach and a great head basketball coach here at GP. Played at Maryville as well.
3rd and 10. Schultz, pressured. Hits it in the flat, out to, and it's going to be short. Going to bring up a 4th and about 6. We'll see whether Coach Rang wants to go for it or send Bryson Flynn in to kick a field goal. And I think we're going to go field goal.
And Marty, I like the route right there. You got the 2 wide receivers running off. And I tell you, had Carlitos not had to run around the back judge right there, that might have been a different football play.
So from the 18-yard line, a 28-yard field goal attempt from the left hash. Ball's down, the kick is up, and the kick looks like it splits the middle. Would have been good from 15, maybe 20 yards further. So GP's first score of the second half, a 28-yard field goal by Bryson Flynn. GP 36, Hampton 6.
Marty, that's great to see. Great job by Bryson Flynn, Coach Al Shirley, our kicking coach. And of course, Bryson Flynn is the son of Buster and Cindy Flynn.
Fourth quarter, Webb is still leading Austin East 3-0. Anderson County beating Clinton 21-0.
Marty, those other assistant coaches that we didn't get to, Ty Marshall, who played quarterback here himself and went off to play college sports, came back and he's the quarterback's coach and head baseball coach. Of course, Jason Schultz was one of the better offensive linemen that we've ever had to play here, and great guy. He is a volunteer coach. He's an accountant in his real life. And then, of course, our kicking coach, Al Shirley. Great group of coaches, of course, and, of course, head coach Derek Rang.
So, Flynn to kick off. Kick, a low line drive, is going to skip into the end zone. It will come out to the 20-yard line where Hampton will have it 1st and 10.
Of course, Marty, I'll say something else about Coach Rang and his assistant coaches. Every time I watch them practice during a game, or what, and also when they coach these other sports, watching Ty coach a baseball game or Rashid coach basketball, they're always coaching. They're not standing around counting their change. They are always coaching, always instructing and correcting when they need to. But a great group of assistant coaches.
There's head coach Derek Rang with the clipboard. Hampton 1st and 10. Halftime score, Claiborne County leads Pigeon Forge 14-6. Jones keeps it up the middle, breaks one tackle, ball's loose. Going to be recovered by Gallenberg Pittman. Number 51, Ryan Weeks, 5'10", 190-pound senior. GP will put the ball in play at the 25. And you see just a good tackle right there by number 10. Was that Lopez? That was 10, Carlitos Lopez.
And just like I heard former GP quarterback Randall Bryan, who's in the booth with us, say that's just perfect form tackle right there. Got his head right on the football.
GP single wide out this side, 2 wide outs far side. Akey, the backfield, handoff off the left side. There was a hole there a minute. Closed quickly. Akey tackled after a gain of about 2. Bring up a 2nd and 8. Rob, I thought he might have had something there initially.
You know, Marty, that guy just came off the edge from the backside and just got an arm on him, just good enough to slow him down.
2nd and 7. Schultz. Shotgun. Fake. No, gives the handoff on the sweep to Akey. Cuts up under. Going to have it out to about a gain of about 2 more. We'll bring up a third and 5.
Number 15, Bryce Akey, who's already had a great career here at Gatlinburg-Pittman, 5'8", 190-pound senior. Of course, he's been a starter on both sides of the football for 2 years now. Had an older brother, I can't think of his name, that was a big lineman, a really good player for us.
Rob, I saw
4 years ago.
I saw something on the end of that play that you would have loved. But Schultz into the secondary. Reese Cole with the good hands, good catch. First down, Gatlinburg-Pittman. Reese Cole can be a weapon.
He is a weapon, and he's really athletic. He's big and tall, got a lot of confidence. Goes up and gets the ball, and he does a pretty good job running after the ball.
Previous play, Rob, on where Akey had a 2-yard gain. Kevin Burkett took his man 10 yards down the field, and at the end of it, pancaked him on about the 5-yard line. First and 10, Gatlinburg-Pittman. Schultz. Hand off, Akey. Cuts it back up inside, off left tackle. Gain of about, we'll say 3.
Well, think about this offensive line, Marty. I'm sure in school they're nice guys, but they've got a little edge to them, which is what you like. I mean, Kevin Burkett's just he's thing is this game's going on, and Hampton's just we've kind of worn them down. Kevin Burkett just keeps getting stronger and stronger. You see him and Bo Rowland.
Well, and Rob, we just had another example. When you play that back, when Kevin plays that back, watch the line play. Akey into the end zone for the touchdown. Watch this. Of course, he gets a lot of that on his own, but there's also bodies on the ground along the line of scrimmage.
And some of those bodies are still on the ground.
Kick is up, and the kick is good, and that's a backup. Let's see who that's a young guy, but the team's just thrilled that he was able to get the extra point. I can't get the number.
Well, Marty, the holder's taller than he is.
Is that 89?
On his knee. 89 maybe?
Aiden Jeanette, 5'7", 120-pound freshman kicker. And the sideline erupted, Rob. They were happy to see him get that point.
And Marty, the clock's going to start running, and this game's going to wind down pretty quick from here on. He's a man of the people.
Yep.
Marty, it's great to be back up here. Of course, I had some problems last year. Didn't made a couple of the games, but of course, then we did all those years broadcasting with Buford, who this press box is named after, Mike Elton. But it's great to be back up here with you and Kevin and Tana and Randall Bryan. Had some old guys in here, Larry McCroskey and Terry Williams in earlier, but
and Jim Moore will be with us most of the time. Was not able to make it tonight, but he'll be with us most of the year.
Great to be back with the Highlander Broadcasting Group. Of course, sponsored by
Greenbrier Bee Company, Greenbrier Restaurant, and Beck's Place. That ball's going into the end zone, will not be returned.
That's going to help us against people like Alcoa and AE.
Right.
If Bryson can keep kicking it into the end zone.
Although there we go. Local honey.
And Marty, all those beehives are right out there in Pittman Center. Everybody asks me where they can get it. They can buy that at the Farm Kitchen Restaurant across from the Five Oaks. They can buy it at the Whole Earth Grocery at the Winery Square in Gatlinburg from Jan. And, of course, both of those places are great places to eat and shop. And as a matter of fact, and Kirby's probably not going to hear this because Jackson on Saturdays or Sundays, Jackson and my kids and I always like to go to Crockett's downtown. But now we've kind of shifted a little bit to the Farm Kitchen every once in a while. Just so you want to have a great home-cooked meal, go to the Farm Kitchen.
Ball's loose, and it's going to be recovered by GP. Running back was hit in the backfield, knocked the ball loose, and GP recovers. Number 75, here's the replay. Number 34 comes through untouched, gets his hand on the ball.
And Marty, that's Mikey Cockrell. Of course, Marty, speaking of our sponsors, if you want a great dining experience in a beautiful place, go to the new Greenbrier restaurant. I mean, it is incredible.
And Rob, that ball was recovered by Luciano Lopez, a 6'1", 230-pound freshman.
And Marty, if you're looking for a great cheeseburger, a great prime rib sandwich, and more casual atmosphere, easy place to get to, Birds Creek Road, go to Beck's Place and visit our old buddy Dave Haddon, who was a great GP football player. Marty Hampton put up a good fight for a while, and you know, actually earlier in the game put together a really impressive drives. I think one of their drives was 97 yards and just pounded the football, their offensive line, and a couple of those drives, they were a little more physical than we were, but eventually Will Brooks, Kevin Burkett, Bo Rowland, Cherub, Akey, Saban Moore, and some of those other guys just absolutely beat them down. And
so I believe GP, a lot of second teamers in now, and I believe number 5, Houston Bird at quarterback. Drops the ball, fumbles it, gets it back.
Marty, a lot of nerves right there, a lot of nervousness.
Rob, let's go ahead and make a couple of calls. I think we can all agree on one, the defensive player of the game tonight, who was all over the field, tackle, interception, Carlitos Lopez.
And Marty, I'm sure I know we've had some great defensive players in here at this high school, going all the way back to FB Mack and most recently Colin Garza that had similar type games, but I don't know that I've ever seen a game where a kid had that many tackles, had an interception, 2 block punts, deflected passes, caused a fumble. Just an incredible performance. But yes, the Greenbrier Restaurant Defensive Player of the Game is no doubt about it, Carlitos Lopez.
Flag on the play.
There was a face mask, will be 15-yard. Still, the vote's still coming in on the offensive player of the game. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give it to 2 players because the one wouldn't have had success without the other one getting the ball to him. Quarterback J.D. Schultz, wide receiver Ethan Stennett are your offensive players of the game.
Hey, we can do what we want to do, can't we?
Screen pass is incomplete. We'll bring up 3rd down and the play of the game.
First pass is
I go back to the
block punt was.
The block punt was a huge one. The double reverse back to the quarterback to Stennett for the touchdown. I think my vote would go for that play.
3rd down for Gatlinburg Pitt.
Because at the time it was either 14-6, and that helped to blow it open. Any major disagreement? We'll go with the double reverse lateral back to the quarterback, touchdown pass to Stennett will be your offensive play of the game. Of course, none of this, and GP's second team getting manhandled. Hampton still has their first team in there. We'll bring up a 4th down. 3 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the game. None of this would have happened without the play of the offensive and defensive lines tonight also. Just an all-around great effort for first game tonight for GP, Rob.
I totally agree. Marty, the T-shirt of the game, which I need to call ABC Embroidery and get every mother of every offensive lineman one of these made, is proud mother.
Oh, field goal attempt from 33 yards is good from Bryson Flynn. I'd make that 43-yard field goal is good. And Rob, they ran him out there real quickly, got set up. Here it is.
Marty, what do you think the GP record field goal is?
I'm not sure. That one would have been good from 48 or close to 50.
That was impressive. Marty, that's good. Of course, he has a good leg and he's a good athlete, but that's good coaching by Al Shirley. I mean, that's just, of course, it started with the snap and then to the hold, but head down, perfect steps, kick through the ball.
Well, and just getting the kick team out there that quick and getting it off. Great
and
organization.
You know, they had a guy off sides that really should have blocked the field goal. I mean, right down the middle.
With plenty to spare. Hancock County beating Cosby in the fourth quarter, 20-14. Anderson County over Clinton, 24-0 in the fourth. Ray County beating Carter, 42-6. That's another kick into the end zone from Flynn.
Marty, deep into the end zone.
Yes.
You know, we talk about Lopez putting on a clinic. Flynn has put on a kicking clinic tonight.
Jefferson County in the third quarter extends their lead over Sevier County, 38-16. First and 10, Hampton. Quarterback keeps the ball up the middle into the secondary. Will be a first down. That's number 12 for Hampton. New quarterback, Hayden Birchfield, a senior.
You know,
minute 35 left to go in the ball game.
Great opening performance by the Highlanders. Hampton High School is not a slouch. I mean, they're a pretty physical football team. Their problem is that they are just totally one-dimensional. If they get behind, they're just never going to win that football game. But I knew when I watched them play against Tennessee High that their offensive and defensive line were big and physical enough to play with us. Of course, one thing I will say, when I watched them on film against Tennessee High and Cloudland, their defensive line got a ton of penetration on every play. Our offensive line did not allow that tonight.
48 seconds left to go. Hampton, handoff. Left side, trying to get outside. Is tackled after a gain of about 9 yards. We'll bring up a 2nd and 1 as GP has a lot of new players, jersey numbers out there. Rob, let's talk briefly here before we wrap up about next week. GP will play Kings Academy, the first varsity football game between Gatlinburg-Pittman and Kings Academy in 52 years.
Formerly called Harrison-Chilhowie.
And the clock will run out with the running clock before and Hampton calls timeout. Kings Academy at the last report was up 4-0 on Seymour, and that score has still not updated. It may have been wrong in the first place, but Hampton calls timeout. We'll have time for one more play. Obviously, they'd like to stick it in the end zone here.
Any members of the Interact Club, please stay after the game to help clean up the stands. Thank you.
Marty, it's great to be back at Hammons Field, Hammons Stadium, and all of our old friends here back in their old places. Mike Warner, Greg Patterson, Kevin Tierney, Tana, Trenum, us.
Great opening night.
Great crowd in the Letterman's Lounge. Great crowd on the home side of the stadium. great atmosphere, great student section, great job by the band. Got a new second-year band director, Greg Fitch, doing a great job with those kids. Lots of enthusiasm by them.
So final play of the game, Hampton. 1st and 10 at the 10. They will look into the end zone. There's the pass out in the flat. Is knocked down, almost intercepted. And the defensive back on that side, number 14, River Gunner, a freshman. Good break on the ball.
Freshman from Pi Beta Phi, great basketball player.
So that's your final. Impressive opening night for the Gatlinburg-Pittman Highlanders. GP wins 46-6. And Rob, look forward to next week against Kings Academy. They've got a Division I prospect on the line. It'll be interesting to see how they stack up against the Highlanders. For Kevin Tierney, Tana Trina, Randall Bryant, Rob Younger, this is Marty Nossi saying, hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Remember, you can see this broadcast on Channel 193, Charter Cable anywhere in Sevier County, and on GatTV.com. See you next week.
Go.